this might be a tough decision right now. My team did
not just
absolutely garbage.
NFL games that were like,
Right.
whoa.
I actually don't
Had
understand.
a lot of mixed feelings. Welcome, Disgruntled. We have another guest here on the Legal Domains.
Get out
How
of here.
dare you recording me?
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to continue this conversation because it's a good conversation without recording. Because I feel like we're just going to
If anything, it cut me off, and I was like, "Oh, I'm stopping."
wait. So we were just talking about Quentin Nelson and how he's going to be signing with the
Eagles, yeah.
Eagles,
Um,
and Titus was just
he's
like,
not going to be available till next offseason.
why?
He's not free agent.
Oh, yeah.
He's still on his rookie contract.
And Titus was just going over about how valuable he is, and if he doesn't get re-signed, then someone is getting fired.
No, there's so many different like trade proposals from like fans, just like fan made trades to get some random quarterback, and they're like, who can we give up? And everyone was saying Quentin Nelson. And honestly, I think it's more likely we were to trade any other Pro Bowler, honestly, like Ryan Kelly or Kenny Moore, those two guys, just because like Quentin Nelson, I think, is the best at his position in the entire NFL. A lot of people may argue Zach Martin from the Cowboys or Batonio, I think his name is, from Browns. But I just think given how young Quentin Nelson is and how he's never missed an all-pro team in all his years, like first 3 or 4 years in the NFL, I think it's absurd. And the fact that he hasn't had the same quarterback all those years and has had to play this past year, had to play with a different left tackle. The left tackle position was basically a rotating door this whole last season because we brought in the old Chiefs guy, Eric Fisher, and he just didn't really fully recover from that ACL injury or Achilles injury. I'm not sure which one, but other people were taking that spot, and Quentin Nelson was putting too much stress on himself to try and overcompensate for it, and he ended up getting injured at one point and was out for a bit. So I think when Quentin Nelson is like struggling on the line, that's when the whole line struggles, and that's why Carson Wentz looked even worse than he did. Like Wentz was already bad, but he's going to look really, really, really bad when the line struggles because he doesn't get the ball out as fast as other quarterbacks.
Mhm.
And that's why I think we have the most talented line, but our line ranks like bottom 5 in the league in pass protection.
It's crazy how much injuries can affect that because you can have one really great player on that line or a couple really good players on that line, but if it's basically like a rotating door, like you said, it's very hard to get that chemistry
Yeah.
together because it's very chemistry based line. And I feel like if you trade away Quentin Nelson for a quarterback, that's like defeating the purpose because like you have like a one in a lifetime talent on the offensive line. And if you trade that away, then it's basically defeating the purpose, or at least for the first like couple years of that new quarterback, because he's going to struggle like hell trying to get out the ball without a decent offensive line, and you're going to waste a couple of years of possibly that quarterback's prime if you don't have a decent line.
I think these lines are just so. I mean, the general manager talks about it all the time. He works from the lines and then outwards, which is why I think some other positional groups have struggled more. There's just like a key focus on both sides of the ball, defensive line as well. I mean, he traded a first rounder for DeForest Buckner. He did in last year's draft, he went first rounder, edge rusher, second rounder, edge rusher. He's just very fixated on making sure those two are up to the standards. And then this past year they weren't. And so I think that's a part of the biggest disappointment is that the two things that he stresses the most in the offseason, they just didn't come to fruition this past season. So I think it'll be different this season if we figure out the left tackle spot. I think the edge rusher spot is we'll do better with Yannick Ngakwe. I believe I don't remember how to pronounce his name, I think Kwity Paye in his second year will do really well. But I think it's just that left tackle spot because we kind of just have a backup getting promoted to starter, which that could go one or two ways, really bad or really great. Or we also got that rookie, Bernard Ryman. Speaking of the rookies, we should probably talk about the draft.
Oh,
We didn't really go over like how our draft predictions went, and spoiler alert, badly, but better than last year, I would say, with the new well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Probably the same as last year, but we gave ourselves more credit, I guess, with the point system. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I guess let's preface what this episode is going to be about, because we kind of like jumped straight into the craziness. So we're going, like you said, we're going to go over the draft predictions from a few weeks ago at this point in time.
Feels like a month ago now.
Yeah, it feels like forever ago. And then after we go over this, and we're going to go over predictions of the schedule of each team this coming season. Titus is going to do the AFC side. I'm going to do the NFC side, and we're basically just going to predict their record.
Breaking news. The Eagles are signing former Giants cornerback James Bradbury to a 1-year, $10 million deal.
All right. I vaguely know who that is.
James Bradbury, the whole Colts, Twitter, I guess, like the fan base on Twitter, as soon as there were rumors that he was going to get released, the Colts fans were like begging for him. They we already got Stephon Gilmore this offseason. And Ronnie McLeod is also in the defensive back group now, as you know. And we also got that random Chiefs safety, I guess. And then we drafted pretty well for the defensive back group. So it's been getting built, but I think the Colts fans still want more, because it was kind of a disappointing group last year. Especially after we traded Rocky Sin as well, who was probably one of the better performers in that defensive back group besides Kenny Moore. So James Bradbury was like the next best option after getting released by the Giants. Just because all the other, free agents are just kind of like old, I guess. Eagles got a good one, especially, I feel like it's a position of need after Darius Slay, the CB2, I guess.
Yeah, Slay is literally the only good cornerback, and he needs help in that. Definitely. He needs help in that position, definitely, because we've been ass in cornerbacks for the last decade and a half. I don't even remember the last time we had any decent cornerbacks that didn't get smoked, even during that Super Bowl run.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady smoked us left and right. He had like over 500 passing yards, and if it wasn't for Nick Foles.
No, that game was so crazy with the yardage, man. Like, defenses win Super Bowls typically, but not that year. That year it was rough.
Yeah, very, very rough. To put into context too, because I just wanted to look up some stats from him. He's 28 years old, 4 years on the Panthers, 2 years on the Giants. I think I heard him when he was on the Panthers, because Bradbury, his name does sound familiar. He played 92 games, so he's staying relatively healthy, which is good. 15 interceptions, total interceptions, and 82 pass deflections, which is good. So yeah, and then 380 combined tackles, which is also really good or decent. But yeah, he's a very solid player for a steal. I'm glad that we picked him up.
Yeah, so do you remember 2 years ago when everyone was saying Giants have top 5 defensive back group in the NFL, but then nothing ever happened with it? They just couldn't get it together for whatever reason. Yeah. He was basically a part of the reason people were talking him up so much, but maybe it was scheme, who knows what it was. It's just it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I think Eagles have a chance of, bringing things back to a scheme that maybe he's more familiar with. I'm sure. I don't think he would want to sign with another team that maybe he wasn't more comfortable with the way he was going to get played, because I feel like that happens with a lot of players. they see like a big money offer from a team and don't even look at the scheme at first, but then they realize like, oh shit, probably should have.
Yeah.
But like that happened with Unique Ngakwe because he's from Baltimore and he got a big money deal from the Ravens and he was like, oh, I really want to go to the Ravens, but then he got there and the scheme just wasn't for him and he didn't succeed at all. And then he went to the Raiders and started doing better. And now he's on the Colts and it's the same scheme as the Raiders because we have the Raiders' old defensive coordinator. So
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to when you get offered. I don't know how much you got offered, but I guess hypothetically, if you got offered like a $100 million deal, then
I feel like
it's kind of hard to overpass or you get like exactly what you said. I'm just like paraphrasing at this point, but it's hard to overlook that in any
Yeah.
situation. I feel if you
he
get
got a
that,
3-year, $45 million contract, which
that's
is really
crazy.
good.
Yeah,
Especially, what was it? That was in 2020. So now correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the Giants are kind of like the Jaguars in the sense where like in free agency, they like really like to throw the bag, like give the bag to people, just like big money offers to try to really beef up their core in the offseason because they're too lazy to draft someone and then like develop them. They don't want to wait. They're impatient. They just want the best players available.
yeah, but it's the best players available, but all the players that they pick up are shit. Like all they pick up like
I
the
don't think that's
wrong
true.
players.
I think Kenny Galladay I think he's a good player. He can't show it because he's on the wrong team.
That is true. I guess that is like the Barkley effect as well. Saquon Barkley effect.
Yeah.
Imagine if Barkley was on a good team, because like fucking if you're able to shine on the Giants,
Mm-hmm.
and you're a fucking Hall of Famer anywhere else. Like
No, think about it. Christian McCaffrey,
yeah.
dude. Could you imagine? Put Christian McCaffrey where Jonathan Taylor is right now. Listen, I'm a really big Jonathan Taylor fan,
Mm,
but I think Christian McCaffrey, I don't think he's a more talented runner, but he's definitely a more talented pass catcher. Like a more talented all-around offensive player, probably.
mhm.
Whereas Jonathan Taylor's a really good receiving back, but he's mainly like run through the middle, so a guy very big and strong. Whereas like Christian McCaffrey's just going to outrun you.
Mhm.
I think Christian McCaffrey would probably break some all-purpose yards records.
100%. And especially if he gets like a good quarterback too, eventually on the Colts. Like if the Colts were able to also get a good quarterback, and I feel like the Colts would be unstoppable if
Yeah.
they had McCaffrey too.
We also picked up Philip Lindsay. The Colts did.
Really?
Yeah, he's our RB3 now.
That's actually a pretty good.
It was super random. No one saw that coming.
Doesn't Trey have his jersey? Or is that
Oh
someone
my
else?
gosh, I think he does. That's so funny. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Nyheim Hines might get thrown out to slot receiver. Not like a lot of snaps. Like he's not going to take a majority of snaps there, but just like every now and then.
Mhm.
Because he's like the returner type. He's just speedy and really good at. He's got great hands, so
Yeah. Like
I think it's a good option. And so Philip Lindsay could see more potential when Jonathan Taylor has to rest or just like to mix it up.
I can see that happening. I feel like it's kind of like a Devo Samuel type too. Like
Yeah. No, Nyheim Hines said he wanted to do what Deebo Samuel has been doing.
oh well. Yeah, if he can replicate that then and elevate his game a couple steps more, then he's going to be unstoppable too. And like even like there's no harm in having a couple snaps he takes as a slot receiver too. Because like he has great hands and everything and he's very fast. So I feel like that's a really good decision to do.
We should get in the draft now.
No.
We got
Okay.
very distracted with James Bradbury pickup, but it was worthy. It was breaking news. Who doesn't like breaking news?
Yeah. It was
Breaking
like-
to us, not breaking to you guys, though. You guys are gonna be like, we know.
That is true. It was like breaking news from when the Capitol got raided last
Oh my
year.
gosh, live reactions. That was so funny.
That was insane. Bro, that feels like
My cousin just like comes down. I'm like, oh hey, what are you doing down here? He's like, yo, turn on the television. No, after that, I went up and like her, because it was during COVID, and like her daughters were home, like school wasn't in session, and even if it was online, and they were just like there watching as well. And then my cousin like pulls me aside, is like, yo, we should take shots right now. In front of her daughters. I was like, all right, let's do it. While the Capitol's getting like stormed. So yeah.
That's so fucking funny. I wonder what their thoughts were going through their heads because ain't no way they understood what was happening.
No, I mean my okay, one of them is like 5 or 6. The other is in high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she definitely knew.
For some reason, I thought they were both young, like around 5 or 6.
No, yeah, Avery, the 5 or 6 one was just like, oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
She was basically on her iPad, just like playing Roblox the whole time, but she was also in front of the television.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I forgot that you mentioned that one of them was in high school probably a lot. It passed my mind.
No, yeah. So like my mom is like the youngest, like a really young out of all her siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And so my cousin and my mom were basically like sisters because that would be like my mom's niece because of how young my mom was. And then, yeah, my cousin was just like basically grew up with her because, yeah.
That makes sense.
So like my cousin's a lot older than me. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. I have like a cousin like that too, or a few cousins like that as well. But quick side note: Josh's alarm has been going off since 10:30.
Oh my gosh! In 19 minutes, that's crazy.
And
that's such a classic for Josh. Is Trey not around? He's not there, right?
He got here yesterday.
Oh, so he is there.
He got here Sunday. What day is it? Yeah, he got here Sunday because I left and I remember him coming back.
He must not be in the house because Trey would go up and just be like, yo.
Shut the fuck up, Joshua.
Yeah.
Let's get to these draft predictions.
Yeah, so we should talk about how off we were on the first pick.
So
because we were.
I guessed Garrett Wilson, wide receiver,
who got taken 10th. And I guess Evan Neal, who got taken 7th. So not much better. Wasn't even the first offensive lineman taken. At least yours was the first wide receiver taken. No, it wasn't. Drake London was. Never mind.
Yeah, I was like, am I good? Am I semi good at?
Oh my god. Yeah, second pick, I was right about Aiden Hutchinson going to the Lions. This just makes too much sense. Michigan guy going to Detroit. It's just like he just drives down like a couple of hours. That's it. Not even. It's probably just like an hour.
Yeah, and then I needed to stretch really badly. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago.
Get on my level.
I got. I didn't get. I picked. Gardner.
It's like it's our draft.
That'd be funny. Imagine the first 32 players. Like you get your side and I get my side, and they battle each other out.
Except they're like the same players, just a different order.
Shit, that doesn't matter. We can make clothes.
Oh my god. Ahmad Gardner, yeah. A lot of people did have him really high up, but he wasn't even the first cornerback taken, which surprised me. I was so shocked by that. I had him going late though. I had him going 10th. He ended up getting taken 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I also had Derek Stingley going before him. But
Goose, why did
I don't know why I did that, but it ended up becoming true. Just not at all when I thought it would.
Yeah.
But I was correct though about Ahmad Gardner going to the Jets.
Yeah.
Just a different pick.
You did get that right.
I did.
I was like, where the fuck is I was about Amar Gardner. There you go. I had like a fucking hiccup in my fucking chest and I was trying to burp it out, but it wasn't going out.
Yeah, that's nasty, but okay.
But our third pick, I guessed Hutchinson, Aiden Hutchinson. The Texans would pick up him, and you guessed Trayvon Walker, which
who was the first pick, and so I got fucked by the divisional point system.
Yeah.
If a divisional rival takes the player I predicted for a different divisional team, then it's -5 points on our point scale, which ended up happening to me twice and not at all to Caleb. So I would have had the lead by quite a bit. It would have been 23-19, I guess. But
yeah, I was very surprised that that didn't happen more often. I thought either like each of us would have at least like 2 or 3 for some reason. And it's very, I don't know why, but it's very odd that that only happened twice, and especially only to you as well. I just thought that would happen a lot more. Because like the odds are.
I didn't think it would happen too much, but I didn't think I'd get fucked by it only.
I bet you're thinking like, I'm going to type this in so that I can screw over Caleb and he's gonna have like 2 points.
No, I just thought I thought we would get fucked by equally, and it would just be a funny like thing to react to, you know. But
yeah, I wish that happened more because I feel like that would make it more entertaining. Well, it was really entertaining, but it would make it more funny, I guess.
It would have, yeah. So ended up that Texans took Derek Stingley before Ahmad Gardner, like we were talking about, and I simply just don't agree with that at all. I think Ahmad Gardner is clearly the better cornerback. As far as like what he showed on tape, I mean, maybe it was like a combine thing. I'm not really sure, but yeah, Texans just decided they wanted a different guy. And then I had Jets taking Kayvon Thibodeau, just because that guy was originally predicted like a year ago, like really early draft predictions to go number 1. That was the mock from like, it was almost unanimous a year ago that this guy would go number 1. And then I don't know if you remember, but then that guy, that the kid that really wants to become like a sports commentator when he grows up, he like went up on stage and announced his name, and he got so hyped that Thibodeau fell to the Giants at 5. Yeah, I think that guy's really good. It must have just been something about the past season just kind of being underwhelming from him, but
yeah,
I feel like that just happens sometimes.
Yeah. Oh well, I think that's just, I guess that's just the name of the game.
The way the cookie crumbles.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I guess Derek Stinger. All right.
You got it.
Stingley.
Yes.
All right. I just had to pronounce my letters, and surprisingly
spell it out.
But I was kind of correct in them picking up a cornerback. It just didn't become Gardner, which is it did become Gardner. It just didn't become Stingley. Yeah.
So I had the Panthers taking Kenny Pickett, and so did you. We thought, how many quarterbacks did we project to go this round? I said 2. You said 2 as well.
Yeah.
I had Kenny Pickett going to the Panthers, and then Malik Willis going to the Saints. And you had Kenny Pickett going to the Panthers, but then Desmond Ridder going to the Lions at 32. Didn't even have Willis going in the first round, which I thought was crazy. But it ended up happening that Desmond Ridder was taken before Malik Willis. Ridder taken by the Falcons, and then Willis going to the Titans, of course, like 3rd round. Was it?
I didn't even I didn't even
I
realize
don't,
that
I don't
happened, but
remember if it
that's
was
crazy.
second or third, but no, it was so shocking. Like everyone was just waiting, and then it just got to a point where I was like, honestly, anyone could take these quarterbacks. Like it doesn't even have to be a team that needs them anymore. Like anyone can just take these guys. But it ended up that teams that I would say needed a quarterback, just because Ryan Tannehill, I
Yeah.
think people are coming around to the point where he's just like he's not going to lead them to a Super Bowl. He's a promising starter, I would say. Like he's done his job, but I think they just need a fresh start. And I think the AJ Brown trade really solidified that point. And yeah, Desmond Ridder to the Falcons, I think is a really great fit. But I don't know how well Desmond Ridder is just going to do overall. I think he was maybe a little overrated, but
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why he fell so much. Teams realized that he was a little overrated and just let him fall.
yeah, but I didn't expect that from Malik Willis though.
Yeah, that is true. But I think this was the fewest amount of quarterbacks taken in the first round. There was only one
Yeah,
quarterback.
just one. I don't
Yeah.
think someone. I think it was saying that hasn't happened in the past decade, but it happened like it didn't happen too long ago. There's time left on the recording.
Wait. Fucking I fucking used my fucking personal one and I thought that I could get away with it again. Cause like I got away with it last time.
I'm so confused.
But I have because like since it's not going through the school, you don't get unlimited time.
Why didn't you do it from the school?
Because I clicked Google and it logged me into disgruntled. I was like, I'm too lazy to change it. Maybe they'll just extend our time more. But
Well, let's just get through the draft in this next 9 minutes. But yeah, Panthers ended up taking an offensive lineman, Kim Ekonu.
I'm trying to think of anything else that interesting happened. I feel like this has been a very pretty tame draft. Well,
I
other
mean,
than
it was a tame prediction just because there were so many trades in the first round where it was just like it was impossible to predict that, you know.
yeah.
Like it was more entertaining in those first 10 picks before the trade started happening. Because that's where we actually got players right. But then after that, it was just like you could only depend on like teams taking a certain position or teams taking a certain name, but it wasn't going to be at the pick you wanted it to be at least.
Yeah. It was weird because it like all the picks, all like the trades happened around like 10 through like 18. Like
Yeah.
or you could even say 10 through 15. And we were both saying like when are the trades coming? The Eagles haven't like traded up or down or traded with anyone yet. And then once like we were started crushing it, like trade just coming left and right. It was like trade after every single pick. And it was crazy about how many trades happen like clockwork. It was just crazy. Like every team was just like, we gotta trade.
Yeah, I just highlighted and read all the picks that were affected by trades. I mean,
that's insane. That's
it was
like
basically like it was more often than not, which is wild. After pick 10 at least.
Yeah.
Reset. So yeah, that was the draft. It was pretty crazy. I guess I don't know, did you do a video on the Eagles draft at all?
Yeah. Not yet, but I'm planning on doing it in the next like week and a half. I just haven't gotten time to do it. Or gotten time.
Were you happy overall, especially with AJ Brown?
I think this has been the Eagles' best draft in the last decade, just because one, there's so many players that dropped to us, like Bean. And
Bean.
And like just the way that Roseman conducted the trade, especially like picks 15 and 18, he conducted himself very well in that and made trades to get AJ Brown. And I think all the Eagles fans kind of predicted that something was going to happen because like the Eagles made a trade with the Saints a couple weeks prior to the draft with all those draft picks moving around. We still have closure for next year in case Jalen Hurts doesn't work out because next year is a very good quarterback heavy class. But I'm very, very happy with how the Eagles or who the Eagles got within the draft because we basically filled a lot of needs, filled receiver needs, defensive end needs. We got a few linebackers, and especially within the offseason, not offseason, undrafted free agents as well. We were very, very good in picking up undrafted free agents. And I think you said that the Eagles spent the most money in the history of the NFL on undrafted free agents, which is crazy.
It was just the most money on one particular undrafted free agent. I don't remember what his name was though.
Oh, okay. Didn't we draft like the most free agents as well, or the most undrafted
I'm not sure.
players as well?
Oh, you got Carson Strong. That's right.
Wait, what position is he again?
Quarterback.
I give them an A plus
There we go.
with their draft, which is pretty surprising because he actually did well. I'm going to dive more deep into it in a week or two, but as of now, I give them an A plus. How about you?
With the Colts.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the draft grades I've been looking at have been very much affected by the Carson Wentz trade. So like we've been given like a B and a C just because, you know, not having a first rounder has been rough. But when you watch the behind the scenes video of the Colts in the draft room, they're talking about at pick 42, which was our original second round pick, that we got from the Commanders actually, that there were like 3 potential players they wanted to take at that spot. And then they all fell to 42, but they didn't know like what to do there. They weren't too sure. And then they got this really good trade offer from someone else to trade back to 49. And so they did it. And then they got Alec Pierce at 49, which was one of the 3 players they wanted. And then in the rest of the second and third round, they got the other 2 players that they wanted at pick 42.
Damn.
So they all fell to them. And then there was still a really good, I think his name is Nick Cross, a really good cornerback safety hybrid guy that they also were kind of looking at, but they weren't sure they would have like the draft capital to like trade up and get him. And they're like, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. Let's just make our day 2 amazing. And so they drafted 4 guys on day 2, all of which they were like looking at early second round, but they managed to spread out throughout the entirety of day 2. So that was Alec Pierce, wide receiver from Cincinnati, Bernard Ryman, one of the better tackles in this draft class, and then probably the highest ranked, or like I think he was second highest ranked tight end, Jelani Woods. He was definitely the most athletic tight end in this draft class. I think Trey McBride was ranked number 1 though. And then Nick Cross, who was the safety cornerback hybrid. So this draft class from the Colts was just probably our most athletic overall. Like it was like strictly like when you look at the numbers, like, oh my God, these guys, they got really big potential. Maybe they haven't put up the numbers in college, but they have the potential to make it big in the NFL. So yeah, day 3, I don't really know. I don't really care, but
What are you saying? You could have picked up the next Tom Brady in round 6 or 7.
Yeah, I don't think we got a quarterback.
Or I guess Tom Brady like player, like as to his caliber of talent.
Yeah. This call is about to go down.
Do you want to make the call so we could do the predictions real quick?
Yeah, I can do it.
So we don't run out of time.
Bye.
Bye.
What is set up professional audio? What does that mean?
I don't know. You're the audio guy.
It's like a Zoom option? I'm confused.
What do you think of the new? What do you think of the Kendrick album?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's amazing as well. I listened to it 3 times.
3 times? Yeah, I've listened to it quite a bit. I think people are mad just because it doesn't have as many like bangers, but I think, I mean, we had Damn. I feel like Damn was like purposely made to be like radio hits, you know, whereas this one was just supposed to be like a beautiful, well composed, like very introspective, which is, you know, he hasn't always allowed himself to be super introspective, but
yeah, I feel like we learned a shit ton about him and his upbringing about this album as well.
Yeah, so I think it was basically a perfect album.
I agree.
IMO.
I liked N95 And if it loads, I like the one where that he was arguing with his girlfriend, I think.
No, yeah, that was so crazy. Like
That was insane.
super well produced and like intense. Like, yeah, I was like, whoa.
Was that his girlfriend or his wife?
I don't think.
Or
I think it was just like a voice actress or like a singer who was just filling in
oh,
for
okay.
that role because I think they're just characters after all.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think his wife or like life partner. I don't know if he calls her his wife, but I don't think she likes to be like a public figure or like she doesn't like to make like appearances or anything like that. So
That makes sense.
so
But yeah,
I doubt it would change for the album. Anyways.
yeah. But I just wanted to say that was a beautiful song, and like it was crazy how they made just an argument into a flow.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's good at that. I mean, he's had like other like if you listen to Pimp a Butterfly, he has a couple of like they're more so like interludes, I guess. I don't know, where it's like kind of like spoken wordish over music. It was like over jazz and To Pimp a Butterfly, and that was really cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I need to listen to that album through its entirety. I think I've only listened to half of it in one sitting, but I want to listen to all of it in one sitting.
I mean, it's lengthy in the same way. I mean, this is probably lengthier, honestly. I don't know. 18 songs, so
Yeah, I
I
think
think Pepper Butterfly is only 16, but the last song is like 11 minutes. So
we can move forward.
yeah.
This turned into a tune for two. Welcome to.
Yeah.
We
can talk about the NFL schedule. Yay!
Heyo. Eagles are gonna go 17-0.
All right.
First
I
of
already
all.
see what you're writing down there, and I can tell that's not true. So,
What do you mean?
how are they not a bye at 17?
Everyone's just really good, okay, Titus? Everyone.
NFC easiest schedules. They don't have to play anyone good. Okay, so I like the day after the schedule came out, I went and predicted every single NFL game. So I'm very well prepared for this. I'm curious to see what Caleb thinks about the NFC, because last year he was pretty close. Honestly, you're closer than me with the AFC, at least, because AFC is very turbulent. But you were very wrong about one particular team, and that was the Seahawks, who you had going number one in the NFC with a bye. And so far, I'm looking here, you have them the complete opposite. The worst in the NFC.
They made me so fucking mad, Titus. You don't understand how bad they made me. I had so much high hope that they're going to go 17-0. 14-3 I thought was a generous pick for them, but they screwed with me. So I'm punishing them into the prediction hell and predicting them last because they're a fucking dumpster fire of a team. They're worse than the fucking Commanders, and that's saying something. Like, what the fuck are they doing? I'm just joking. That was an over-exaggeration.
Wow. So, since I did predict all the games, I can also tell you what I thought of the NFC, and then you can like compare against that. And then, but it won't count for this prediction just because I do one conference, you do the other. But just something to talk about. So I had the Falcons, Bears, and Panthers basically tying for the worst record in the NFC, all with 4 wins and 13 losses. Falcons, I feel like they're at a weird place where Calvin Ridley is out for the whole season. They have a backup coming into being the starter for them in Mariota. And then also Desmond Ridder is their second best guess, which was a 3rd round pick. So, I feel like there's not a lot going well for them. And if there wasn't a lot going well for them last year, where Calvin Ridley at least played half a year and also still had Matt Ryan, then I can't imagine much has really changed this season. just looking at free agency as well. That's where I have them.
Mhm.
Bears and Panthers, I mean, they just have been kind of like, they've been struggling for a while, and I don't think they've really fixed it. I think they're still rolling with Sam Darnold with the Panthers, and Bears rolling with Justin Fields, but it doesn't seem like they're very confident in him. They haven't like tried to give him the ammo he needs. In fact, they lost Allen Robinson, so feels like they may be just giving up on that guy in his second year. I have the Seahawks also very low, 5-win team. Lions 5-win team, which is still an improvement from last year. I think they will actually be very competitive in a lot of their games. Same thing as last year. They're just going to struggle to close out some of them. Giants 5-win team. It's going to be the last year for basically that whole organization. Daniel Jones, Joe Judge, like it's over for them. Saints 7-win team. I think it'll be the same thing as last year, where like Jameis Winston does well at first, but then they just tank. Commanders, I actually have them as an 8-win team, actually competitive team, I would say, with Wentz. I mean, they have Terry McLaurin. They have a lot of great like offensive power, and their defense is stellar as well. I just don't think Wentz is the type of guy to bring that team to a playoffs. But I think it's a team that has potential if they were to finally draft a quarterback that is worthy of taking over, instead of just doing all these stopgaps. They got Ryan Fitzpatrick, he was out for the year, and then they had I don't even remember his name. He was the Commanders quarterback last year. Heineke.
Yeah, Heineke.
Yeah.
I thought everyone thought he was going to do good because he did really good in the playoffs against the Bucs.
Yeah, one game.
Prior, and everyone was like, this is the new Tom Brady, guys. Just watch out. And it didn't happen for them.
Yeah, say what you will about Wentz, but I think he's an upgrade there. But still not enough to get to the playoffs. Cardinals, I have a 9-win team. I think they're on the downtrend, honestly. I just feel like there's something in the culture there. Like Kyler Murray just seems to not be very happy with the organization. I don't know. And I just haven't really seen them do too much in free agency either. They just got Marquise Brown, I guess, but like I think that's the least of their worries. They just keep getting all of these wide receivers. And it's just like, come on. I think you have other things to improve on. Vikings, 9-win team, making the playoffs barely. I think new coach could do some good for them, but they're not going to like really outperform. I just feel like they'll just be good enough. 49ers, 10-win team. They're still an amazing defense, no matter who's going to play at quarterback. And I mean, they got Debo and Kittle still. So I think they may struggle without their offensive coordinator going to Miami now. So yeah, still 10 wins. Cowboys, I have at 11 wins. Packers, 10 wins. Buccaneers, 11 wins. Eagles, 11 wins. And then Rams, 13 wins, 4 losses. I have high hopes for the Rams this year, coming off of the Super Bowl win. I just think like if that's what they can do with Matthew Stafford in his first year, like sky's the limit, man. And they just got Allen Robinson to, come in for OBJ basically. They got Bobby Wagner as linebacker, basically filling up the defense, because that was like the one position where you're like, oh, there's not like an all-star there, this team is dangerous and could probably have the best record in the NFC. So those are my thoughts. Let me know yours, Caleb. What are yours?
What's the Buccaneers division?
South.
With
the Saints, Panthers, and Falcons.
10-7. That's 2. That's not. Wait, I'm gonna have them 9-8. And then the Bucs 10-7.
There we go.
So my prediction is, since I'm going to start from bottom up because I feel like that's more entertaining. So I have the Seahawks 2-15 because without Russell Wilson, they're not going to get anywhere, because Russell Wilson was 95% of that team. He basically had all of the yardage. Like, he was the only one who had a rushing touchdown 2 years prior. He's running for his life every 2 seconds. I don't know what quarterback is going to come in next that's going to do as good as him and actually get anywhere within this league. So I have them at 2-15. Commanders 4-13 because they're dumpster fire. I think like Carson Wentz, he's going to do really good, but only statistically. He's not going to get any wins because he needs something around him that to get him wins to push him over the top. Whether that's like a great offensive line or great defense. I mean, Commanders have really good spots in Chase Young, McLaurin, but they're standalone players. They don't have like a one good group of guys that can really push them over the edge. I mean, you could say the defense possibly, but their defense took a hit last year and was not what we were expecting their defense to be. Bears 5-12. I believe they have a new coach this year because they got rid of Matt Nagy. I believe. I don't know who the Bears QB is now. Oh, Justin Fields. Yeah, Justin Fields. Oh wait, they do have Nathan Peterman though. Okay, so Justin Fields is going to get hurt. Nathan Peterson is going to come in and give them the 5 wins. And yeah, I just don't think they're going to go that far. Maybe Justin Fields can bring them to a few wins. And that's where I think they're going to get the 5 wins. But I just think they're going to struggle because I just don't think, along with the Commanders, I think they're still regrouping. Giants, I have 5-12, just because I don't think they gave Daniel Jones the 5th-year extension. And I think he has 1 more year. I don't know. He's been in the league forever. And so they're just a dumpster fire every which way. Falcons 6-11.
Wait, can I just make a comment?
Yeah.
He's like in his 4th year and already you're saying he's been in the league forever. That's how you know how bad he is. Like, we're so tired of watching him after his 4th year. It's like Roethlisberger was like in his 15th year and like, damn, he's been in the league forever because he was like good, like he actually won a Super Bowl. But then it's just like Daniel Jones, 4 years, like this guy gotta get out of the league, man. He's gotta retire. He's gotta hang it up.
like come on, man. No one to stop, man. You're literally the most like turnover prone quarterback in the league.
Oh,
like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's bad.
So due to that reason, due to the Giants giving him so many chances, I have him 5-12, doing a little bit better than they did last year, I think. I don't know. They've been irrelevant for such a long time. I can't keep track of their records.
No, yeah, I had him at 5-12 as well.
Yeah. I think that would be probably Barkley. Give them those wins.
just Barkley. It's kind of true though. As long as he's healthy, yeah.
Because like all you gotta do is just feed the ball to him, but not too much where he gets injured again.
True.
Falcons, I have 6-11. There's just too many new pieces with Matt Ryan leaving. Like you said, with Calvin Ridley and that whole debacle, I just don't think they have a true offensive player or offensive piece except for Kyle Pitts.
Cordero Patterson is back as well.
Patterson.
I think they have pieces. They're just like, well, okay. I think the problem with the Falcons for me is like Kyle Pitts is still too young to really like prove to be like a really big threat, especially when he has no real quarterback to throw to him. Like he'll probably definitely take a step up in targets just because like who else is there? And then Cordell Patterson, he's only getting older. I think he's in his 30s at this point. So I mean he'll still be like I don't know, discount Deebo Samuel like last year, but I don't think it's going to be enough for that team.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just not like a congruent thing, like a really good offensive line or a really good defensive line that will elevate them. It's just like a couple of spotty good players or like a really good quarterback. So that's why I have them 6-11. I feel like that's generous too. I feel like they're probably going to be a little bit worse. I could see them going 5-12.
Yeah.
But I feel like somehow they're going to squeeze out a few wins. I have the Lions 6-11 as well. They're going to have 3 more wins than last year. Dan Campbell. Yeah. Dan Campbell is an exciting coach, and I hope that this doesn't get him fired. I hope this is enough improvement to make him stay because I think he can be a really good coach in this league. He just has to take a couple years just to get his group going, but they got some exciting pieces from the draft. The lines are actually looking up really well.
Yeah, they're definitely on the up.
I'm not too sure about Goff yet. He's definitely not the answer.
Nah, he's not the answer. Yeah.
He's just a filler now. Because I feel like you don't want to, in this rebuild and how many pieces they need, it makes sense to have Jared Goff there because you don't want to waste a quarterback's talent on a rebuild, especially this deep of or big of a rebuild, at least for the first couple of years. Towards the
This
end,
next draft, oh boy. This next draft, oh yo,
Who?
you bring shit. He just
Bryce
won the
Young?
Heisman. What was
Bryce
the
Young.
Alabama guy?
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young, of course.
Yeah.
If you bring Bryce Young into that, dude, I mean with Amon-Ra St. Brown and what's the other receiver? They just drafted him. I'm bad with names right now.
Wilson, the guy that I
It wasn't Garrett. What? Was it Garrett?
Garrett. Wait,
Garrett went to the Jets. Who did the Lions take?
Lions. Was it first round?
Was it not? Maybe it wasn't. I think they traded up for him. Lions draft picks.
You got was it Aiden Hutchinson?
Oh, Jameson Williams. I'm stupid.
Oh my god, I forgot.
You
about
bring
it.
you bring Bryce Young and pair him up with Jameson Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown's already good. You have another SEC guy and DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Their line is shaping out. I think that would be a better offense than the Packers right now. Because who's Aaron Rodgers throwing to right now? Think about that.
Himself. He's literally gonna
Yeah,
throw
like-
to himself.
It's just going to be like Aaron Jones one side, AJ Dillon one side, slot receivers, and then just throws to them. The other wide receivers are just distractions.
Yeah, like what are they gonna do? I feel so bad for Aaron Rodgers. Did you see that one meme? It was like Aaron Rodgers doing like the question mark about it was Devontae and him, and they were like talking on the sideline. They were like, "Oh my god, we're going to get like both traded somewhere. Like we don't have to go like worry about this dumpster fire." And then like Adams leaves, but he gets an extension, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" I just
Yeah,
feel
it's like-
so bad for Aaron Rodgers because
I feel like he kind of did it to himself, you know.
yeah, that is true.
Devontae Adams did it in the right way. He didn't make a fuss, you know. He wasn't, making the whole fan base like really paranoid for a whole season, and then he just quietly got traded.
Mhm.
Whereas Aaron Rodgers was trying to do it a season too early and ended up being a mess. And he was like, "Fine, don't worry, fan base, I'm still here." And then he's like, "Fuck, why am I still here?"
Yeah. He's just in what's the first level of hell?
Purgatory.
Yeah.
He's in purgatory.
It's just on.
I thought you meant the first. I thought you were going with the first stage of grief. I was like, damn.
I mean that too, honestly.
Isn't it denial? I think so. First
Yeah.
stage of grief. Because that's what he came out and was like, "Yeah, I knew Devontae Adams was leaving. I re-signed knowing that, guys. Come on."
He's a fucking joke.
All right, Panthers.
Panthers, I got 8 and 9. I just feel like they get off to weird starts where they're really good. I feel like they've gotten like the
It's
past 5 years, they're like always that team that's like, oh my god, like we don't expect this. We didn't expect the Panthers to be this good. They're like 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 right now, or 5-1, or 3-1, etc. Oh my god, they're so good. Like, could they be playoff contenders, or are they like fakers or pretenders? They usually end up being pretenders.
Yeah.
It's just weird. So I think that effect is going to happen again, and that's where a bulk of their wins are going to come from. They're going to get off to a hot start. Christian McCaffrey's back. Hopefully, he doesn't get injured again.
I would love to see it.
What? Damn.
No, not injured again. I'm sorry. I hope he doesn't get injured again. I would love
I
to
was
see
like, damn.
him. That's fucked up. Jonathan Taylor coming for his title, bitch.
You sounded like an Eagles fan. Damn.
No, dude, I'm a big Christian McCaffrey fan. You know, first League of the Wings, I drafted him, and then I won the league with him My first pick being out the entire season.
I fucking hate that you won like that. I fucking hate that you won like that.
It's because I also drafted Jonathan Taylor like what, round 10.
I fucking hate you.
Uh,
You're not going to get this lucky this time. I'm going to win. I'm going to go undefeated
not.
and win the championship.
no, this year is going to be like Alec Pierce falls to me at pick 112, and then he ends up having the craziest offensive rookie of the year campaign. Jamar Chase.
That would be insane. Ain't no way. I would be so mad if that happened to you. I'd be like, all right, I'm done.
Or like I just like it'd be funny as fuck if like last round of the draft I'm like, fuck it, I'll just pick up Baker Mayfield, why not? And then he just like someone gets injured, Baker Mayfield takes over, takes him to the playoffs. It's just like yes.
Like he scores 30 points in fantasy per game. And he's like, the fuck what?
Oh, so it was just OBJ the whole time. Okay. Nah.
Vikings 9-8.
It's like, what do you even say about this team? I just feel like they're perpetually just going through the same shit. Like, obviously, it's a different coach, new GM after 9 years, so there's a fresh start there. But like, the team still looks the same.
Yeah, it's like, what did they do in the draft and or like
They just gave Kirk big money for being mediocre.
Yeah.
Like, I think Kirk Cousins is a fine starter. It's just like when you have Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook in the backfield, you kind of just want to go for like a really good quarterback, because otherwise you're just like the Titans, except with like a worse coach.
You're the NFC version of the Titans.
Yeah, but what the problem is, they can't pull it off because they have a worse coach, and yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Vikings is just sad because like you just know, you can see it coming. Justin Jefferson's gonna leave the same way Stephon Diggs did. And then he's just gonna take off, probably win a Super Bowl. And then all the Vikings fans are just like, damn, we just lost Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson back to back. What the fuck?
Imagine if they both go into the Super Bowl like against each other too, like Diggs and Thielen. That would be crazy. Thielen comes on the Eagles. Thielen, Smith, and Brown.
That'd be nasty.
Ain't no way people can defend that three-headed monster.
Yeah, all you have to do is fucking take out Jalen Hurts. What do you mean?
Yeah, you're right. With the Saints, I have them 9-8. I think this is their bottom. I think I can see. Ooh, that was a.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was a clean crack.
Yeah, thank you. I try.
But yeah, I think this is their bottom because the Saints started off hot with Jameis Winston last year. I think 5-0 or a little bit worse. But Jameis Winston's coming back. He signed a 2-year, $18 million contract. Michael Thomas is coming back. Got really good pieces on that defense.
All right, but didn't we say that last year too? Michael Thomas coming back. What happened?
All right. The only reason why he did bad last year was because I drafted him first.
Damn. It really is fantasy luck. Like we curse those damn players.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. I feel like half of them will not get injured just because of fantasy.
You better not draft an Eagles player, that's for sure.
Definitely not first. I have to pick them like near the middle.
Yeah, imagine you just drafted only Denver players.
And I won the championship too.
Trey's just like, fuck.
Trey's like, fuck. Wait, what realistically Denver player would I pick up? That's like earlier than the 5th round.
Earlier than the 5th, I would say Javonte, Jerry Judy. Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
He was
They have
too-
they have high upside, but they haven't really proven it. It depends on how good Russ is.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Russell Wilson. Never mind. He's a first rounder, baby. I'll take it.
Damn.
Um,
How you forget about the biggest trade this offseason?
I don't know. The first half of this free agency just doesn't feel real. I feel like
No, I mean it's been a long offseason. I will
Yeah.
agree.
I feel like I feel like it's Madden. I feel like a 12-year-old just got Madden fantasy draft and just be like, yo, I'm gonna make all these wild trades and see what happens.
Except if it was Madden, it would just like all these players to one team. You know?
That
Like
is
this makes sense.
how do you have Russell Wilson, Devontae Adams, Christian McCaffrey all on the same team? How does
That'd be wild. And then like Travis Kelce as well.
with,
Could you imagine?
with Aaron Donald, Darius,
And then he
Donald?
doesn't even make the playoffs because he didn't like it's just this 12-year-old who doesn't realize like, oh, I need an offensive line. And so Russell Wilson just can't
Wait, I need an offensive line and I shouldn't go for it on every single fourth down. What?
Oh my gosh. And then the defense is just like he plays linebacker and just tries to blitz every single time.
Yo, that's me now, bro. Every time I play Madden, I'm
Oh my
automatically on that fucking linebacker and blitzing the fuck out of the quarterback. I don't know how to fucking play defense.
No, everyone's been there at one point. Everyone's
Yeah.
been that guy who just plays linebacker and blitzes every single time.
Yeah,
That was me with Madden 11 back when I was 11.
literally, that was me too. First, my cousin, I would play with my cousin all the time.
Except I also really like to play safety for whatever reason.
Yeah. I just knew if I play safety, I would get smoked every time somehow. So I was just like, all right.
It's
I
like
know my
I
place.
don't know how to read offenses. I'm just gonna blitz.
The fuck do I know? I know I used to throw it on 4th and 15. Like what?
Oh my god. That's like that one Cowboys player, defensive rookie of the year. What's his name? That's what he reminds me of. It's
Nick
like I don't want to read an offense. I just want to blitz. Micah Parsons.
Yeah. He's the epitome of that kid or of that
Yeah.
player. But I got the Cowboys at 10-7.
No,
I
you
hope-
don't.
What?
You don't have them at 10-7. You'll put them at 10-7, but you're gonna have them a lot lower.
I was just about to explain that. I'm giving them 10-7 record, hopefully to be generous, and then
Yeah.
that would curse them into being a worse record than they are, because every time I predict them to have a bad record, they go like 13-3 and go like into the playoffs. Or, like,
Dak Prescott MVP. Damn.
So, this is the best record that I can give them, or that I have heart to give them, because
Right.
like 7th round in the wild cards, that's like you're pretty much done. Like you're not going to get too far into the playoffs, especially if you're the Cowboys and first these players.
Yeah, you'd have them playing Packers first round.
Yeah, I just don't see them winning the Packers because they have the worst of luck. I think that's why I did that. Yeah, I did that because Cowboys are always bad versus the Packers. So their first round exit. And yeah, so I have Cardinals 11-6. Tyler Murray is going to do something good once Hopkins comes back after the 6-game suspension.
Mhm.
I think they're still a solid team. They're a wild card though, because I feel like the chemistry is not there yet, and they still have a couple of things to figure out. I just wanted to see this team grow a little bit more to elevate them into a division winner, and that division is fucking hard to win and to get ahead in. So they have to be extraordinary to win in that division. So I don't have them winning in that division yet, but give them 2 or 3 years and I can see it. I have Rams 12-5. I think just because since they won the Super Bowl, they're going to take a couple games back or stumble a couple games and struggle just because after the Super Bowl, it's hard to gain what you got that Super Bowl year. So I feel like they're going to struggle a little bit, but still have a really good record at 12-5 because that team is very dangerous. And even though I have them in a wild card, I feel like they still can make a deep playoff run. I think they're positioned to make a deep playoff run. Yeah, I just think they have a lot of upside in the playoffs. I just don't think they're going to make the division right now. Buccaneers 10-7. I feel like everyone's going to hype up Tom Brady. And oh my God, they're going to go into the playoffs and win another Super Bowl. I do have them winning the division though because it's Tom Brady. But
Also, their division is like, who's gonna beat them?
Yeah, like who the fuck's gonna beat them? And I just think they're going to go 10-7. I think they're first or second round exit. I just don't think Tom Brady is going to, just because of his age. I mean, we keep saying this. Tom Brady, his age, he's getting up there. He's going to do bad, but
nah, he's going to the Super Bowl this year, dude.
Yeah, like what am I saying? He's gonna go
just for the Colts to beat him. Let's go.
But I don't know. I don't know how he does it, and I don't know if he can actually like play how old he is, but like he just keeps proving us wrong.
Their team's still really good, even like besides Tom Brady, like that team could still go to the Super Bowl, I think.
I think so too. But yeah, I just don't know why I have a gut feeling about that. I have the Eagles 11-6. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the draft video because I'm going to go over the predictions and go game by game. A few I think the Eagles are going to beat. I feel like the floor of the Eagles is 10-7, and the ceiling is 13-4. I just think we have one of the easiest schedules. We're like 31st easiest schedule, or like the first. If we're having like the toughest schedule up top at number 1, we're like 30 or 31 at the very bottom as easiest schedule. I just think we're good enough to beat most of those really bad teams. We may lose to 1 or 2 of them. Going 1-1 with the Cowboys, losing to the Packers, and there's a couple other teams that I have them losing to. I just think 11-6 is realistic. Packers I have 12-5. I feel like they're not going to get the first seed. They're going to have a chance at the first seed. I feel like they're going to battle between the 49ers and Packers between the first and second seed, but then they're going to get went out by the 49ers somehow. I just think they're not going to get the first seed because of Devontae Adams, and they really don't have any receivers like we said earlier. So I just think they might. I think they're still really good. They still have potential there because they're known to do really good with very little. But I just don't think they're going to get a first round. And that actually may benefit them because they've been first round the past few years and haven't gotten anywhere. They just keep losing in the championship. So maybe they need that extra edge to push them into the playoff or into the Super Bowl. And then I have 49ers 13-4. They have they have a really good defense. Deebo Samuel. They still have Garoppolo, right?
Yeah, they still have Garoppolo.
Yeah, he's good enough to make them to the.
No one really knows what they're going to do at quarterback. I think they're starting to lean towards Garoppolo now that the trade market has basically like closed on quarterbacks. But and I feel like, yeah, I feel like they're not so sold on Trey Lance right now.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my predictions for the NFC side. What are your predictions for the AFC side?
Let me just do that. Texans. Yeah, starting bottom to top. Imagine I started top instead of Texans. That'd be wild.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, I have Texans 3-14. I don't know. That's basically the same as last season. Texans they have another new coach. I just don't feel like they're really able to do a full rebuild yet. They just traded Watson, so they didn't really reap the benefits because it's a lot of future picks as well. I can only think of like one name on that team that's like worth even talking about. Yeah, Brandon Cooks. Other than that, like Davis Mills did show a lot of potential, I think. I don't know. But it's like it's really hard to gauge with that team. It's like they're so bad. So it's just like, is he actually a good quarterback, or does he just look a lot better because of how bad the rest of his team is. I don't know.
Yeah.
They did get Marlon Mack as a running back. I think he actually might do good, but yeah, it's just like this team is just waiting for drafts at this point. Like, there's no point even really discussing like if they're competitive or not. Even if they do win more games than they're expected, it's just like it's not going to benefit them. I feel like
Yeah.
that's not what they're going to want. So they're tanking is what I'm trying to say. Jaguars 5-12. I think they'll show some promise towards the end of the season with Doug Peterson. I think he's probably a good coach for them. Trevor Lawrence, I think, will show some more of his upside, but I don't know. I don't really feel like they have a lot of the players Trevor needs to really succeed. Linemen, not exactly the greatest. Wide receivers, they just spent a shit ton of money on a kind of mid wide receiver. Travis Etienne, James Robinson in the backfield, good pairing, I think, still. So, they'll be competitive and like against the Texans. That's basically it.
And the one win versus the Colts when they're home.
Yeah, of course. At Jacksonville against the Colts, all of a sudden they'll put up 40. Trevor Lawrence, everyone's going to be like comeback player of the year, and then it's because that's week 2. Like we're facing that.
Damn.
It's week 1 against Texans and then week 2 at Jacksonville. So it's pretty hype.
2-0 or 1-1.
Because we also have had the curse of not winning our opening week as well.
Mhm.
So we could just either go 0-2 against the 2 worst teams in not just the division, but the conference.
Yeah.
Possibly the whole league, honestly. Or we beat both of our curses, go to Super Bowl, win,
Yeah.
Either one could happen.
Damn, that's like 2 like really bad timing, like curses too. Badly timed.
I mean, I'd rather get them out of the way early.
Yeah.
Like everyone wanted at Jacksonville to be the first game of the year, so that we got 2 curses out of the way in one game. So, but back to back, I don't really mind. It's probably going to take some time for Matt Ryan and the rest of the rookies to get used to the NFL. I mean, Matt Ryan's used to NFL, but the new team. So I don't really mind if we lose those games because, I'd rather them be more prepared for like the bigger challenges, at least the non-cursed matchups.
Yeah.
Anyways, then there's a pretty big gap between Jaguars and then going up. It's Jets 7-10. I think Jets has a lot of potential this year. Last year was kind of rough because new organization, people, Salah as the coach and whoever the general manager is, like it's like in your first year you're not going to be able to fix that organization completely.
Mm-hmm.
Like they basically had to start from the ground up. Not even from the ground up, like from the underground up, because that's how bad it was. And so, I feel like they have a good foundation right now with Zach Wilson. He showed some promise, got some good guys on the line. I really like the pairing they have with, who is it? Garrett Wilson and what's his name? I'm blanking. Their rookie they got last year, Elijah Moore. I really like those 2 guys. I think it's good that they're getting all these young offensive talent to like build that team up. But then they also have a really good talent on the defensive side. Ahmad Gardner, of course, is there now, which I think is like the most perfect fit from a rookie coming out of the draft. I think they'll get some pretty good wins. They're not in the worst division compared to the rest of the conference. I think they can be competitive against Miami, and then I think they could actually really be competitive against New England. Bills will be a problem still, but yeah, I think 7 wins is obtainable for them and kind of like on the uptrend, same as the Lions. Patriots 8-9. They just listen. They were really great last year, but I can't see them really backing it up. I'll get to the Steelers in a second, but I just want to talk about Patriots since we're talking about the Jets in that division as well. I think the division around them is only getting stronger with the Jets and Miami. Miami was just a fucking mess last year, I feel like. I mean, they obviously went on that really deep run last year, like 8 straight games or something. It was crazy. I feel like, yeah, the Patriots just haven't been able to upgrade their roster in the ways they wanted to, just because they spent so much money in the previous offseason. And so the conference around them has just gotten so much better, and they just honestly have gotten worse because, last year they also traded Stephon Gilmore. He's no longer there. There's other players that are now no longer there either. I think Patriots are on the downtrend. Mac Jones, I think, is just an okay quarterback. I don't know.
You're not saying Mac Jones is going to carry them to the Super Bowl like Tom Brady did for them every single year?
Nope. I do not think that. I think it's going to be a couple of mediocre seasons before they realize, yeah, Mac Jones just isn't it. Browns 9-8, still not confirmed on the Watson suspension yet. I'm hearing some peeps about 3 to 4 weeks only, whereas Calvin Ridley suspended for a year for gambling like $100 or something.
This is why I hate the NFL, and I'm glad that fucking NFL gets shitted on for this, because like they need to get shitted on more. I feel like it's not enough, because like how the fuck do you have a Deshaun Watson case where he went to 2 different court cases, 1 criminal, 1 civil, 22 cases against him from 22 different women, and only going to suspend him for 3 to 4 games? Like and what world does that make any sense? I don't know.
I'm with you on that one, Caleb.
Yeah.
But even if he wasn't suspended, I don't think they're going to get off to a really hot start. I think they'll be very competitive. It's just such a tough conference that like a good team, like a stacked roster, is not going to make the playoffs. In fact, a bunch of stacked rosters aren't going to make the playoffs, and they're just going to be one of them. And the fact that they have a guy who's basically on the verge of being suspended, no matter how long, it's just not good for the team whatsoever. So yeah, I have them 9-8. Dolphins 9-8 as well. I mean, Tyreek Hill's now there. They are stacking up that team, like huge haul this offseason. I think they'll be very competitive, but it'll just kind of be a heartbreaker, kind of like the past. There's been a couple seasons that they were on the verge of making the playoffs and just didn't. So it'll be kind of sad, but I don't know. It's just such a tough conference. I don't think. I think that a couple more pieces on that team will make them really, really good. But right now, they just don't have it. Yeah, it's just, I mean, they could also win their division at the same time at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a weird conference. No, I don't believe they will win their division. I think Bills probably have the easiest path to winning the conference, and I'll get to that in a second. But so yeah, that's that division. Jets, Patriots, Dolphins. I'll get to the Bills later. Going back to the Steelers, I had them at 7-10, which I think is pretty generous.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think their defense is still really great. Najee Harris is going to be able to do a bit more with a little bit of a revamped line. Kenny Pickett, he has some pieces, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, they're good receivers to start with. Like, he's stepping into a better situation than most rookie quarterbacks. I think, especially first quarterbacks in the draft as well. Better situation than almost any quarterback ever that was taken first from their position in their draft. Yeah, I think there's a lot to work with there, but it'll be the first time that Mike Tomlin will have a losing record. Still,
that's gonna be weird. Yeah. This is a new era of Mike Tomlinson that we haven't seen in a while.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll be able to be still competitive against the Browns just because of how good that defense is. And who else is in their division? Ravens, yeah, I think they'll be able to be competitive against the Ravens. And maybe the Bengals. Bengals might give them a hard time. But
yeah.
No, I already did Patriots. Yeah. Chiefs.
Yeah.
Just because I'm doing this out of order. Chiefs 9-8, just like the Dolphins and the Browns.
This is the most surprising record that I see on here. Like, what the fuck?
I don't think it's that surprising. You look at the conference, best conference look at the division, best division in the league. You have to face Russell Wilson and the Broncos 2 times a year, and that is probably the most dangerous passing offense like you could probably face. I mean, they don't even have Tyrann Mathieu anymore. And their cornerbacks were already atrocious. I don't think they've really improved much on that. So it's just like you have to face Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy twice a year. And then you have to face Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen. What was the other guy's name?
Not Williams, right?
Mike Williams. Yeah.
Didn't he get traded?
No, he's still on the
Ah.
team.
Never mind then.
Twice a year.
Mhm.
And then you have to face Derek Carr, to Devontae Adams, and
Chandler Jones.
I mean, yeah, I'm talking about passing offenses though.
Yeah.
What was that one Raiders receiver that kind of broke out last year? You know what I'm talking about?
Renford
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow. You have to face that twice a year.
and Walker.
When-
The
Yeah,
third
that's
tight
right.
end. Yeah. sorry.
Yeah. When you have to face those passing offenses each twice a year, when your defensive back group is probably your most atrocious group, like you're just going to get a hard time
Mhm.
all season. I think the offense is still really good because it's still Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Okay.
Mhm.
And like Juju Smith-Schuster is still good. They also got another wide receiver that I think could still be good in the draft. I don't think that's an upgrade from Tyreek Hill, but I think the offense will still be good. It's just like they're going to lose so much from their defense. And like, I just don't think their defense is going to be competitive against these other teams that also have really good defenses. I mean, the Broncos defense is going to be able to square up with Kelce and their other receivers pretty well, I think, and give Patrick Mahomes a hard time. I see the same in the Raiders with Chandler Jones on one side and Max Crosby on the other. I see the same with the Chargers with Bosa. I mean, and who's the guy they just got in the defensive back group now? JC Jackson? Is that who's on the Chargers now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think Chiefs could get second in the division, but they're not going to win the division.
Mhm.
I think I could definitely be wrong about them missing the playoffs. I think it can happen. I just like they also have probably the worst schedule.
Mhm.
Not just besides the division, like just the way it's scheduled, like in order and like where their bye week is, and just everything just shapes up for a really bad season. But
Mhm.
regardless, they still have a winning record. I think that there's potential for future seasons to like get back to the old Chiefs that can like take down these teams just like this season. I just don't see it. I don't think it's in the cards.
That makes sense.
Titans 10-7 on the bubble. I think it's still a good team. Still, I mean, you had Julio Jones out for a lot of the season, Derrick Henry out for the last season last year, and they're still first. They had the bye week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's still a team that can give the Colts a hard time. I think there's still a team that will give. I think any of these teams a hard time. I just don't think they're going to win as much as last year. I think it's not going to be the same story. And I think I still have them missing the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they end up as a wild card team either.
Yeah.
I think they can still be competitive. It's just, they're not a contender like they were last year,
Yeah.
without AJ Brown. Traylon Burks, if they really think he's the guy that can replace AJ Brown, then that'd be crazy.
Imagine he plays better and AJ Brown plays shitty. And it's just like,
Damn, that would suck.
I would absolutely hate that.
Ravens 10-7. People are sleeping on Lamar Jackson, man. That's crazy. People really are sleeping on Lamar Jackson. It's kind of sad.
Fuck Lamar.
And it's sad because he also doesn't have Hollywood Brown anymore. And I don't think he saw that coming. So it's really going to be a test of like, who can they get in free agency as well? I think they're trying to make a run at T.Y. Hilton or Julio Jones. And they could still be in the sweepstakes for OBJ for like a late season push. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, but they still have a really talented roster. A lot of guys coming off of injury now, Marlon Humphrey, all those running backs who we didn't get to see last year. And they still, I don't know, they were like 8-9 last year. Like, I think we're going to see at least 2 more wins from them with everyone healthy. And yeah, I see them as a wild card team.
They just
Chargers-
have to finish games.
Yeah, absolutely. Chargers 10-7. I feel like they did make the right moves at certain positions. It's still just a very young team that will also like struggle late in the season as they did last year. I think they're gonna have they'll make their first playoffs, Justin Herbert's first playoffs, but they'll probably struggle in it just because they're also young. Yeah, that's the team that I feel like will be the face of the conference in years to come, just because like those guys are going to be around a while. Justin Herbert, when you think of like dynasty fantasy football, like he's up there with Josh Allen for being taken number one. Like those two guys are like the future faces of the NFL. So yeah, I think this is the first season where they're really going to show face and be in the playoffs and like really show up and say like we're going to be a threat from here on out. Whereas like everyone already knows it's like it's coming, it just hasn't happened yet. Like this will be the year it actually like hits. Raiders 11-6. I mean, they made the playoffs last year. They were really good. I mean, the only things that really changed is upgrades. I see no downgrades at all on this team. So I mean, if they were able to make the playoffs after everything that fucking happened last year, like this team's gonna be dangerous. As long as Derek Carr is like consistent. I think you don't even need Derek Carr to be elite. You just need him to be consistent, and this team can be really, really good.
I feel like he can make plays that are even above average as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. Especially with Devontae Adams. I mean, that can make anyone look really good. So
yeah.
And they already have the chemistry to play in college. So I got the Colts at 12-5, winning the division. I think they just have the easiest schedule with how bad their division is and just the other teams they play. They do have to play the entire AFC West this season, which will give them a hard time. But I think just the way it's scheduled kind of helps them. Like, they don't play like the Chargers, for example, till like later in the season. And I think this team is really fucking stacked. So I think this is an appropriate.
Forgot about the biggest challenge of all, the NFC East. They're going to have the biggest struggle because you got the Commanders in there. They're going to be super challenging to beat. Got the Giants. They're going to be, man, how that's going to be such a hard schedule. You got Super Bowl contender Eagles, of course.
Oh, of course.
But at least you got an easy win versus the Cowboys.
As long as I have that, Anyways, I think Colts will also win a playoff game. I actually have them going to the conference championships. I think it's very possible.
I can see that.
I don't know about Super Bowl yet, just because there's a lot of new pieces. So I don't know about Super Bowl yet, but it could also be like one of those scenarios with the Rams. I didn't think they'd actually make the Super Bowl in their first year with Matthew Stafford, but they ended up winning it. So it's possible. Broncos 12-5. This will be like the biggest turnaround in their franchise. I mean, they were bad last year, man, and now they're gonna like win more games than lose. 12-5. I mean, this team's going to look good. They already have like a lot of pieces. It's just they needed the quarterback. They needed some other free agents, and they got them. I think this team is ready now.
I think so too. They really shaped up to be a great team.
Yeah.
And I feel like Trey is going to be really happy with what
until they are a first round exit, but like I actually see that happening though. I actually see the Broncos like having a really impressive season and then a first round exit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Well, I mean, I kind of do. They haven't been in the playoffs in who knows how long. So
2015, they're the last team to be in the playoffs. Like they're the if that makes sense.
I know. I mean, at least Colts were there 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, and we played the Bills, so like I think we're ready.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for a win, but Broncos, I don't know.
I don't think they will get a win at all.
So I also have the Bengals 12-5. I mean, they already won the division last year, and I feel like they got better. It could also be one of those scenarios where you just, some teams just like have those breakout runs some years, and they just completely like fumble the ball the next. Like I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. You didn't have to say it, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, this team is still stacked, so I think they'll be competitive at least. I think I could see like maybe a different division winner, just because the conference is crazy.
Yeah.
Ravens could still win a division, hey? You know, it could still happen.
Browns.
I mean, Browns definitely could. Depends on what happens. I think
feel
they're
like-
very turbulent, but
I feel like that division is the most hit or miss division in the league right now. Like,
yeah.
I feel like we can see it going, that division being really hard and all those teams being really good, and or vice versa. All being
Even the Steelers, like they could surprise some people, man. Maybe Kenny Pickett is the truth. Maybe he goes on like a Justin Herbert type season and just surprises everyone. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
And then I think the easiest path in the history of conference titles belongs to the Bills. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just set up for them so perfectly. The Jets are still going to be the Jets. Bills are going to dominate them. Patriots, who historically give them a hard time, on the downtrend, they're going to dominate that. They don't have to play the AFC West. It's just set up so perfectly. I don't know, man.
Especially
The only team they have to play in the AFC West is the Chiefs, which we can see they've already been really competitive against them last year. It's just so easy. It's just like too easy for them.
Yeah. They might even win the Super Bowl. Maybe. I guess. Yeah.
Hey man, I don't know. I don't know. We still gotta get through the Colts now. Okay.
BB's winning this SB.
Here's what I actually think could give the Bills a hard time, and it's not in the regular season; it's in the postseason. We saw when the Bills stadium is run over in snow, just like snowstormed up. They don't have a roof, and then a team that is really good at running the ball comes in. It's just like, what do the Bills do? They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that great of a rushing offense with Josh Allen. And so like the Patriots came in and just like they didn't destroy them, but just like they controlled the entire game just through running the ball, and Josh Allen wasn't able to throw. And then it was just like that one scenario where it's like, shit, the Bills don't have home field advantage in those scenarios.
Yeah.
And so conference championships are in January. If they have home field advantage in the conference championship and a team like the Colts come through, I don't see a way, like if the weather is as bad as I think it'll get, I don't see a way where the Bills can take down a team with Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, Phillip Lindsay now, Quentin Nelson for them to run behind.
Yeah.
Ryan Kelly, also a Pro Bowler. Are you kidding me, man? Matt Ryan, his name is Matty Ice. He can handle the cold, okay? Like, I just think if it comes to that, Colts win that matchup. So
any day, I'll take that bet any day.
Any day.
Any day.
And then if you look at our defense as well, I think they're made to handle the cold as well. I think you just like that front seven just like really stacked, Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner, and Ngakwe. The young guy in Kwity Paye, he'll be ready to take it. He'll be ready to take it over, man.
And Indy ain't no cold place either. They used to playing in the cold.
We're also a roof team, but
yeah. Fucking what? You guys are fucking what?
It's a hybrid. It's like it's a roof when we want it. It's open when we want it, though.
Losers.
So if it's ever cold, we usually put the roof on.
Fucking what are you guys like? Not like NFL players. Well, you
but we practice in the cold.
That doesn't mean anything.
Okay. Yeah. So that's my predictions.
Yeah. That's my predictions before your predictions. So go end it here.
Yeah, we can end it here. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
How long was that?
I have no idea. I think it was like over
2 hours.
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours. Wait, let me look at the message history. When did we start?
It's still
Maybe it was 10:30. I know.
Yeah.
You can stop it though.
No,
You know
well-
how to edit, right? Like come on.